Hey everybody, this is UNLV Arts Worldwide. I'm Louis Kavouras from the Department of Dance, and we are here for the second half of our global and international episode. But first, here is our Dean Nancy Uscher.
Louis, I'm so happy to be here with you today and with our listeners and watchers, our audience, because you and I agree that the global engagement is such a fundamental part of the education we offer to our students. And of course, it's also very important to our faculty. You know, we have global artists, art makers and art thinkers and art researchers, art scholarship makers as our faculty, and they inspire our students who then get to travel and not travel as tourists. They travel as art makers, and they see the world through their art. Louis, you and I have actually traveled together to Korea to do just that. And that is one of the parts of our episode today. Shall we recall what that was like? And I know that you went for years before I joined you because you have a beautiful relationship with one of the Korean institutions. And our own dance students have formed lasting, lifelong relationships with some of the Korean dancers as a result of their art making together. Would you like to talk about that?
Sure. It's been a delight to take students to Korea, and we'll cover it in the segment. But what I always find is when students travel, and not just travel as tourists, because tourists it's almost you see it from the window of your own home place. When you travel as an artist, you make work and you interact with other artists. I find that the students come back and it's completely changed them. And it's completely changed me as well as an artist to just interact and collaborate. And our collaboration, Nancy, was really marvelous in Korea. And we got a chance to see Korea and to interact with students. And the best part, we got to make work and see the work responded to by artists there.
You know, I always feel as a performer, you never really know who's in the audience. That's a very exciting phenomenon to me. And when I think about the performances over these many years that our students have done in collaboration with the Korean dancers, our students going to Korea, the Korean dancers coming here, I think about all the joy and impression and influence that our dancers have had in a very positive way on the listeners. We don't even know exactly who is in those audiences. We know some of the people, but how beautiful is that we've enhanced the lives of people we don't even know. You know, and that is one of the essential qualities about the arts, to enhance lives.
It's marvelous, Nancy. And I when you said yes to the project, it spoke to me just because as a dancer, one of our movements that everyone knows is a leap. And, what's exciting about projects like this and travel is it's a leap into the unknown. And you leap into the unknown, and oftentimes you discover so much about the place, but you discover about yourself at the same moment. So I thank you, Nancy, for that collaboration.
Louis, I wanted to also mention to you and to our listeners, I know you and I think a lot about this together as well. You know, the career trajectories of our students are being formed from the moment they start to do their art, even before they come to college. And I think that the international and global exposure helps give them ideas about how they can really be useful in the world, how they can enhance the lives of others. And it gives them connections, it gives them networking opportunities. And so I know that's happened with our dancers over the years. And in the different segments we offer today on this episode, we're going to see how that manifests itself, both in the lives of our professors who go abroad and our guest artists, wherever their lives take them. They come back and enhance the lives of their students, and then of their fellow professors, their colleagues here. And in the case of the Cannes Film Festival, we're going to have our leaders of the film department talk about that today. But I also noticed in my own trip to Cannes with the students a year ago, how they were able, and this will be discussed, in the marché, in the marketplace at Cannes, to work with independent filmmakers and to work with the distribution companies and to be part of those teams, taking notes, being interns, And I think how much they're learning about the real world of film, so that when they come back to continue their studies at UNLV, they already have been exposed to the ways in which they can enter the profession. And I think that that is also a fundamental part of what we need to teach them in their holistic educations as students.
Yeah, I completely agree, Nancy. And what's wonderful about it is it doesn't wait to enter, you know, when people talk about entering the real world after your education, they enter the real world right away. And it's the real world that empowers them as students to boldly move forward. And it's back to our strategic plan, which always gives me great joy to talk about.
Well, Louis, I want to tell you how excited I am to be with you today and to be with our listeners and our audience. And we do welcome our wonderful community into our thinking about the importance of global and international education and the global work that our professors and our students do.
It's vital. It really is vital, Nancy. Well, Nancy, it's a pleasure to see you. It's a pleasure to be here and to talk about art and to talk about the world. So this is UNLV Arts Worldwide. We're reaching from Las Vegas to the world, and enjoy our episode. Hi, everyone. We are here with Alisha Kerlin, and Alisha is the Executive Director of our Barret Museum of Art. And Alisha is giving the museum a global and an international reach. So Alisha, welcome.
Thank you.
And I should also tell everyone, Alisha is the 2017 Outstanding Administrative Faculty of the Year Award winner, and also our university's top tier award winner. So Alisha, congratulations for all that you're doing and all that you're bringing to the Barret Museum.
Oh, thank you so much. But you know, really, it's not all me that does this. It's a giant ship that has a small and mighty team. A small team of 7 with volunteers and interns. Do you mind if I mention their names?
Oh, please mention them.
LeiAnn, she's our researcher. We have Chloe, an amazing designer who just graduated from UNLV Graphic Design. Paige Bachman, an anthropologist who works with us. LeiAnn, who does events and many other things, many hats. Manny and Dan Hernandez. I adore my team, and anytime someone mentions those awards, I just want to turn it back to the people who run the museum and help me, who help us do what we do at the museum.
Well, Alisha, you and your team are amazing, and for me, the Barret Museum is an oasis on our campus. It is just a place to walk into. It's got such a beautiful environment and an atmosphere, and amazing shows always. So bravo.
Thank you. Thank you.
So tell us about the Barret Museum's mission.
All right. So the core mission of the Barret is that all are welcome, and everything that we do at the Barret is free. We will never charge for an event. We never sell tickets. We're always available. So the mission statement on the website is we believe everyone deserves access to the arts. And we do that by promoting an awareness in our city and elsewhere through programs, exhibitions, workshops, lectures, community activities. Much of that has been in the past few years trying to tell people that we're physically there, right? Like we have an art museum in Las Vegas. We're doing great things. We're providing this platform for artists to speak their voices. Now that we're in the time that we're in, these things are changing, but that access to the arts and providing it freely, making it accessible, hasn't changed. That is in line with our mission.
Wonderful. And what are some of the amazing projects that excite you at the Barret Museum?
Are you talking past or present?
Oh, both.
We're so proud. When we set out in 2013, changing things up at the Barret, we had just joined the College of Fine Arts, right? We won this award with the Weekly, and it was the best museum you haven't been to yet.
That's great.
And I was like, well, at least we're winning awards. They're recognizing us as an art museum. It's an over 50-year institution. So we love that. But now we've been winning awards and hosting shows that are internationally and globally relevant. The artists that we provide this platform to are those who are, maybe aspiring artists, right? The young ones who come into the museum. Maybe they are emerging artists or those who are very established and have these global voices. So what we do is just lift up the artists, the community that we have here to reach elsewhere. But I'm super proud of Access Mundo Queer Networks in Chicano, LA. We did that last spring. It's amazing to think that that was just a year ago. That show traveled. It's going around the world. It was organized by the Independent Curators International. And if you ask the curators and the team at the ICI what the experience was in Las Vegas, it was very positive, and I love that global street cred in the art world that just happens to be very, very small. The show is just amazing. More people came out to the Barrack than in other large cities. And, it was like a friend that decided to move on a little too soon. And you're like, have a great time in Houston. We'll miss you. Yeah.
Wonderful. It's really wonderful when the things we do on campus have such a far reach. And it's like, I always think it's like pebbles in water. The ripples just move outward and
yeah.
so much.
I describe it as like an orbit, we're working in a very grassroots way in our own community. Sometimes the orbit throws very, very far. And then we have to come back and pay attention to our own home, and convince those around us and show them that we're relevant. We could be recognized across the country, but we still have to do the work in the community. So I love the idea of pebbles or an orbit.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Well, tell me about the bus to the Barrett, because that's an amazing thing that you created and a way to bring so many young people to the museum.
It's really I'm so proud of that. When I got here, the students, I'll kind of walk backwards. The students would come to the museum, say a class of 25 college students. 3 out of 25 would say they had been to a museum and art gallery. And I was just wondering how we could help that, right? So we just kind of threw out this wish, can we bring in Clark County School District children? And what we found, even though we're free and open and accessible, we were willing to do anything for them. The barrier was the buses that cost just $180. This $5 per kid basically to visit was a barrier. So we did this fundraiser, all right, let's try to raise $6,000 to bring in 30 kids, 40 kids, 50 kids, depending on their size and age. And we did it, and we've been doing it for 3 years. This past year, we raised over $10,000, and we're bringing in hundreds of children to view art and make things. And we hope that we're investing in the future, right? They come to the museum, they come to UNLV, they see that college is a place for them as well. They see themselves reflected in the shows that we do. And maybe they'll come and become those UNLV students, right? When they graduate, they stay in the community and they become art lovers and art supporters. We're in it for the long game.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So the museum, like most organizations, has been closed during pandemic time. But you've not let that stop you. You and your team did the Pandemic Drawing a Day series, which was amazing. And the scope and the reach of that was amazing too. How has that pandemic helped the museum further its reach?
Well, I think it's more about how can we help during the pandemic for me. There's this, more than ever, it's this time of urgency to become more freely accessible, right? Not just for the kids at CCSD, but more freely accessible for everybody. And I was talking to my team about how being stuck at home really does highlight the need and the importance for art and making and creativity, for mental health, for that sense of connection. So we started the Pandemic Drawing Project saying that anybody could create something in response to a daily prompt, right? This was just one day pretty much after we were told to leave the museum. And we said, okay, so you make a response to the prompt, you post it on social media or you email it to us, we'll put it up. As a museum with an established reputation, we will highlight your work. And people felt good about that. We said, we'll make a catalog of it. We'll even validate it even more and make a catalog. And what we didn't realize was that it would be so popular. We received over 900, close to 1,000 submissions.
Amazing.
We thought that, maybe 400, 200 was the guess.
Yeah.
So that catalog that we offered to make is still being done by our designer, Chloe Bernardo. We're gonna have 9 volumes.
Oh my gosh.
And that will be like a small slice of the history of this time. You can really see how people are feeling. They're responding to prompts like draw a pattern or draw the people you love, right? Which is such a good thing to be thinking about right now. So I can't wait to show everybody these catalogs.
And what's the next step for the museum?
Right now, we're prioritizing keeping up this reach, right? This global, this international reach. And that in part is a lot of behind the scenes work that you don't see. We are working on a database that will be accessible. You could go online, view our collection. You can type a search like tree or something, cactus, whatever. And anything in the database in our collection with those keywords will pop up. And there's a lot of work behind the scenes that goes into that. So that'll be available to students, but it'll also be available to anybody in the world. And connect us to other academic museums elsewhere. So there's a lot of research and work to do with that, but we're working on that. We're connecting with other university museums and sharing ideas. In particular, right, thinking about the pebbles and the orbit.
Yes.
We're hanging out with our friends, our sister museum in Reno at UNR, and we're having a conversation with them and getting to know each other via our collections. And we don't know each other yet, so why wouldn't we? We're part of the same house, right? The same state, and we're trying to bridge those gaps. And there's so many other projects, but yeah.
I find that now is the time to also make connections and reach out, even though we can't, socially reach out the way we used to with performances and museum openings and gatherings. So that's fantastic.
Have you found that lectures and performances in the dance world are more freely accessible online than they were before?
I find that there's just a lot of sharing going on right now, and a lot of free classes, just a lot of opportunities for people to connect. I'm curious what this will mean to the art world when this is over, and I guess that's the big question we even find in this series is what meaning are we going to make from this time?
I rely on the artists to tell us.
Yes, absolutely.
All we can do as educators and leaders and as a museum is provide that platform and that place for them to express their voices and for people to come in or engage with us online to have that conversation and that safe place for dialogue. The arts are definitely where that can happen now.
Yeah. Well, Alisha, it is always a pleasure to talk to you about art and the museum. And I can't wait to get back to the Barret, to that oasis, and when the doors are wide open and unlocked, and it's just another place to pop in on campus.
We miss you and we can't wait to see you. And until then, stay connected.
Be well. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Hi, my name is Molly Redfield, and I'm a graduate teaching assistant in the School of Music. And I also am getting my doctoral of musical arts from UNLV. And here today, I'm very fortunate to be interviewing Gabriela Ordóñez Villalobos, who is also a doctoral of musical arts student in the percussion, as well as a master's alumni in UNLV. And she's here today to talk about UNLV and the Mexican Marimba Festival. So hi, Gabby.
Hi, Molly. Thank you so much for having me here. And also thank you, Dean Nancy Uscher, for this opportunity to talk about the Mexican festival. Yeah.
Absolutely. So give me some background on how this all started and where this all originated from.
Well, the marimba band started with the idea of taking the Mexican marimba tradition of playing multiple players on the same instrument. So we take that and we put it on American music. So it's a lot of fun. It's very educational, and I think it's a great idea. My friend Sandra Moreno, who's part of Marimba Nandayapa, was going to be in town. So Dr. Tim Jones said, what if we make this a big thing and we call Javier Nandayapa and we call him to come and play, and we make this a whole festival. And I think it was a great idea. He talked to Dr. Rizzi Miller, which is the director of School of Music, and yeah, she said yes.
So with the marimba band at UNLV, I mean, we see them all the time. They play for almost every event that the College of Fine Arts holds. We have the gala and our big meetings. What music do you use in that group as opposed to maybe if this was back in Mexico, the original tradition?
Well, here in Mexico, what we do is we play danzón, we play huapangos, that kind of things, that kind of traditional music, traditional Mexican music. So it's basically that. What we did there, it was change it for to play rock tunes, pop tunes, and yeah. So it's kind of different, but at the same time it's the same. It's 3 or 4 players on the same instrument, on the same marimba, playing at the same time.
How do the students of the ensemble make those arrangements of the pop tunes, or how do you guys get your versions of the pop tunes?
Yeah, our version of the pop tunes is basically us making arrangements of any pop tune, any rock song we like, and we just translate it to marimba. And right now this is a great project. We have the Killers project, which is taking all the Killers, our favorite tunes, and yeah, put it on marimba.
How long would the festival be? Is it still the one-day plan in the future, or what do you think it'll expand to?
Well, right now we're still thinking to do it just for one day, and it's a 3-part festival. It would have started with the Latin America group, which is my friends from Chihuahua, playing the marimba, the Mexican marimba, and playing danzones, playing danzonereidas, danzón number 2 by Arturo Marquez. So yeah, that was the first part. Then the second part would have been us playing the Killers tunes, the UNLV students playing the Killer tunes, applied on marimba. And then the third part, it's Javier Nandayapa playing his own music and with the percussion students playing with him.
That is so cool. Well, I cannot wait to see this festival happen next spring, and I can't thank you enough, Gabby, for being here today and for letting us talk about UNLV Arts Worldwide. So thank you so much, Gabby.
Thank you so much, Molly, and I want to thank you also, Dr. Tim Jones and Dr. Dean Grunmeyer, because yeah, it's possible because of them. So yeah.
Well, stay safe. It's so good to see you, Gabs.
Good to see you, Molly. Thank you so much.
I'm excited to be here today with 2 amazing colleagues. This is James John, who is a professor at Korea National Sport University, and Dolly Kelepecz, ballet professor at UNLV. And we're here today to talk to you about our Together project. It is an international partnership that UNLV and Korea National Sport University have done together. And James, how did we start the project?
You know, it's so long time ago. I believe it's fun, huh?
When I was 5,
yeah, but when I was very young and a great, you know, very young and great age and great energy and everything. Anyway, in 2002, I was invited to choreograph MBT from that time artistic director Bruce Stivel.
Yeah, with
and at the same time, yes, and same time I was appointed as a professor at KNSU, and that time I met Clarice. She was a dancer, and she was a beautiful dancer. And I thought that I should do something about KNSU dance students, maybe make cultural exchange program in American University and so on. And Clarice told me about UNLV and talk about UNLV have beautiful and great faculties, also a wonderful person like Louis as a chair. And she explained about the university. I said, wow, why not? I should meet Louis and talk about maybe in the future, maybe a cultural exchange program.
Yeah, if I could just interject, who is Clarice? Because some people we're talking to may not
Clarice,
know
Clarice rather she was a principal dancer with MBT.
Right.
And now she's ballet mistress
Right.
with the company. And anyway, she was a very great help for me to go to UNLV to see
And we've
Louis.
used her as an AIR. We've used her as artist in residence as well. So she's made that connection. We did Carmina Burana together. So
wow,
a really good connection, right? She's always thinking about arts in the community.
Exactly.
And helped you. That's great.
She's a wonderful ballet resource in our community.
Oh yeah, she's wonderful. Anyway, so she gave me this opportunity to meet Louis, and I went to meet Louis, and we talked about it. But funny thing, Louis and I have the same kind of concept about the dance, about the art. So, and I said, why don't you come to Korea and check it out, Korea dance, and then maybe you can meet other faculties and at KNSU, Korean dance, and also modern. And
what was amazing, James, what was amazing was, you know, I went to Korea, and I knew about Korea because Dolly had been the year before. You had gone and did a big presentation about Pilates, and Pilates was just a burgeoning new form in Korea at the time. So that was wonderful. And what we did was we started to exchange faculty. So several faculty from Korea National Sport University came to UNLV and taught, and several faculty from UNLV went to Korea National Sport University and taught there. And it was just a wonderful exchange. And I should tell everyone, the next step, James and I looked at each other and said, you know, what's missing in this equation is the students. That the next thing should happen is the students should get together. So in 2006, we started with 8 students of each university coming and performing at each institution. So we did a concert at UNLV and a great week of master classes and work together and performances. And then we did a concert at Korea National Sport University often the following week. And those were just wonderful tours for the students. It's amazing to me, and really a testament to colleagues like both of you and our students and faculties, that the program has lasted all of these years. And to date, we are now getting ready for Together 8 in 2021.
Yeah, exactly.
And after pandemic, and hopefully. And we're getting, and to date, there have been about 150 students that have gone to each institution. And we've also started the 8-week program where students have been at each institution and gotten visas to spend 8 weeks. And so, James, it's been really wonderful. Just
It is. I mean, you know, probably American students felt same way as
of course.
Korean students, but every time they have this experience, they still talk about this experience. When
We
going
always
to America and meet Louis, meet Dolly, meet Kathy, you know, and Victoria and everybody, you know, and it's a great experience for them, for their future after graduate from university and whatever. But this actually made them something different. So
The
it's
thing
a
that I
really,
thought was extremely touching was that each year you pair them up with a student. So the
exactly.
American student has a Korean student, and you know, it's random. It's not like, well, which one do you feel like is your better, you know, match? The match is the match. You don't get a choice. And that choice, those students, I get chills right now because they think about the Korean students, the American, and they remember the experience and the love and the sharing and how art brought them together. And they have like a lifetime, not only memory, but friend from another country. That's amazing.
It's been amazing for me to also watch them grow up. They have children, you know, and they've kept those connections with each other through all of it, you know. And we always called the project Together because it was really about two things, two cultures, two people coming together.
Exactly.
Now, Dolly, tell us about Japan, because you started an internship program in Japan and then have branched it into Korea as well.
Right.
So
there was a place called Global International Education, and they invited me to come to Japan, and you know, I got an agent. It was actually very proper how it all happened. I got an agent. The agent promoted me. I made books and DVDs, and I have like 3 or 4 books in Japan. And then in one of those certifications, a Korean woman came and she said, oh my gosh, you know, you need to come to Korea. And I came, and as Louis was mentioning, forgive me, I don't remember the name of the university, but I did go there, and I did in 2005 or 2004 a presentation about Pilates. So the whole internship in Japan, now we take students there. I take 3, last time was 6 students, which was an amazing experience. They get to travel, they do a whole tour of Japan. But the great thing about the tour is it starts in Korea. because we piggyback on the performance.
Exactly.
You have equipment there, you have master trainers there now, you have a program there where the students can actually see, wow, what I learned in America, they're doing in Korea. And then guess what? They're doing it in Japan. It's the same thing. And that's so powerful to have that intellectual material, not, you know, like, oh, mine, it's so special, not that, but that people can feel a community with others that are very far away. So, you know, and James has been so gracious to set up a system that works so beautifully in the summer. Let's, you know, feel the love too of that we're all learning the same thing and that art can bring us together, right?
It is very important. It is true.
That togetherness, the name of the concert, the name of what needs to be happening today, because so much dissension happens, that this together thing, it's a wonderful, wonderful thing, you know, to spread the word in the world.
It's amazing because we all leap together. And when you leap, something happens. And what's been astounding to me the most is that the students benefit. You know, that you see the changes in them. They come back from Korea and their lives are different. Their choreography is different. They also study traditional Korean dance, which is an amazing opportunity for them to visit these cultures and also to see that the culture, that dance transcends, the language of dance transcends boundaries and language, and it's its own language, and we all speak it collectively. You know, so. Anyway,
so important.
It's a pleasure talking to you both, and you know, thank you for all you do. You don't need to thank me because I feel like I've been thanked a lot. Thank you. I'm blushing, but anyway, pleasure, and can't wait to see you guys, and can't wait to go to Korea again, James.
Hopefully, I mean, you know, even my family in America, they cannot come to Korea. They want to come. Actually, they were visiting me this month, but they cannot come.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can see each other soon.
It's gonna happen soon.
Hello, this is Professor Menendez, Artistic Director of UNLV Film, and I want to tell you about one of our very special international programs, our journey to the Cannes Film Festival. Since 2011, the film department has been taking students to the Cannes film market. This experience has allowed our seniors to consider what their options are in their future in the film industry and how to feed and develop their aspirational goals while having the pleasure to interact and connect with film students from all over the world. We're always grateful for the vision of our donors and the leadership of our chair, Dr. Heather Addison, for supporting this initiative. The Cannes Film Festival and the Marché du Film is a perfect intersection of art and commerce. It allows our students to see how visual stories are recognized, how they're sold, and who makes these decisions. In 2019, the Dean of the College of Fine Arts, Dr. Nancy J. Uscher, elevated UNLV's name and brought international recognition by hosting and celebrating our efforts with a reception at the American Pavilion for donors, students, and industry guests. Today, I would like to invite you to see what it's like to be at the Cannes Film Festival and be an intern in the business program at the Marché du Film, one of the largest film markets in the world, in combination with one of the most prestigious film festivals. The program is supervised by UNLV film mentors and offered by the American Pavilion student film programs. But first, a little festival history.
Since 1946, the small seaside town of Cannes on the French Riviera has hosted the most glamorous gathering of film industry professionals in the world. Over 70 years later, the Cannes Film Festival is now the most important event on the international film calendar. For 14 days each spring, the festival plays a vital role in introducing new talent to the world and showcasing the best of international cinema. Just steps away from the Palais, the American Pavilion is the center of activity for the American film community. Since 1989, the American Pavilion has partnered with the Cannes Film Festival to bring film, business, hospitality, and culinary students to this prestigious event. The American Pavilion Worldwide Student Program is designed to complement a student's school curriculum with hands-on experience and direct access to industry professionals and networking opportunities. Students participate with industry thought leaders in roundtables and panel discussions on all aspects of the film business. Students get to experience everything Cannes has to offer, with access normally reserved for industry professionals.
Everywhere you go, every room you're in, you know you have like one thing in common with everybody in there is film. It's just refreshing to be surrounded by a group of people who are just in the same mindset as you, and all the people that I've been able to meet, people from all around the world, like we can sit and have conversations about virtual reality for like 6 hours and be totally okay. Like now I can fully say I'm a film student in every aspect of the word. I understand the industry so much more. I've been in the industry, I've sold movies, I've talked about the movies, I've been in distribution now. I can say like what it takes, what they're looking for. Everything seems so like tangible now. Like I understand why those movies are up for competition. I understand how those actors got into those seats for those movies. I understand so much more about just the business and like why we do this and why we're here.
In film, I mainly like to direct, and I want to learn more about the business side of filmmaking, which was why the American Pavilion seemed like such a great opportunity for me to learn that. I think if you really want to get serious about being a filmmaker, getting in the industry, you have to learn the business side of show business. And the American Pavilion does a great job exposing students to that in a way that they would otherwise never be able to experience. I mean, we're here in Cannes. I'm sitting on a beach in the south of France right now, and there's the greatest film festival in the world. I mean, it's a one-of-a-kind experience.
Well, in the Marche, I got to set up with Prince Films, an independent distribution company that's set out of Minneapolis. So it was cool to know that not everything is set in LA or New York, first of all. When I got there, I thought I was just gonna be like, you know, sorting paperwork or handling phone calls, but I remember asking Mike to be set within a smaller company so I could kind of learn more and be able to ask like bits and questions about this and that. So it started out with me sitting at a table, just answering people, handing out business cards. It ended up with me like, I felt really like a part of this company. I could talk about the movies. I was bringing people in for meetings. I was the person that like brought people in for meetings. That's so, I can't even like imagine that. Like I wrangled buyers from picking up flyers to coming in and talking to me like they were busy or something, or they came to me and asked questions and I could answer them in an intelligent manner using terms in film, using terms like that we use in this industry.
I learned a lot about how films are sold, which I'd never really had experience seeing that side of it before. Be early. If you're 5 minutes early, you're on time. My favorite experience at Cannes was probably, they had these round tables and panels at the American Pavilion, and I got to meet some amazing people like Willem Dafoe. Scott Mance from Access Hollywood gave me some great advice. The best opportunities will be ones you make for yourself, and that really stuck with me.
It opens up the world. It doesn't desensitize you, but it allows you to realize that this is a real thing. It brings you to France. It reassured me that my mom was wrong when she said, don't do this.
I've been in the Marche, selling movies like I'm cool. And I got a network to raise my net worth and give my future something to do. You don't know how to can like me, spending time at the path like me. Ain't nobody gonna go to all the red carpets all alone.
This is such a dream that you can like do. It's not some like crazy thing that no one can get to, or some crazy thing that isn't tangible. Like anybody can accomplish this dream.
I met some great people out here, and I'm going to have some great letters of recommendation coming in my way, possible job opportunities. It's just, you get the complete package when you come to Cannes.
Come to Cannes. Just do it.
UNLV film students attend the Cannes Film Festival Business Program sponsored by the American Pavilion through a generous grant awarded by the Brendan Mann Foundation, through CSUN student government, and through team travel funds given to the UNLV film program by the College of Fine Arts at UNLV. We have talented students ready to go and immerse themselves in the most incredible experience of their lives as the festival prepares for 2021.